ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Spellweaver. My name is Boltor, and today I wanted to tackle something that a lot of people, I see it on the forums, I see it a lot, because it's something that plagues new players on a regular basis, and it plagued me when I first started playing Spellweaver way back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. And it's something that like I said, I see people commenting over and over again on the on the forums, and I've always kind of thought about making a video like this, and I don't think I have. I may have kind of touched on it in some other videos. I may have kind of remarked about it, but especially with there are two situations that are kind of combining to make this video worth making. The first is the Steam release. So many more new players are going to be coming in that I feel a video like this can really help them. And two, more so now than ever, at least in my experience with what quests I'm getting, PvE content is more prevalent now than it has been in a long time. And a lot of things I see are, how do I beat this PvE boss? How do I beat this PvE boss? I'm getting owned by this PvE boss. This is really pissing me off. And I was the same way, although back when I did PvE challenges, the PvE challenges, one of the things that you had to do was the enemy would start out like with 2 mana, 2 levels, and 30 life. So it was even more of an uphill battle than it is now. But basically, one of the things that I did was I discovered kind of a sweet deck, kind of a sweet spot in decks. It is decent. You take it in the ladder and you take it into friendly games, but it's really, 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 really good against the AI. Grinding games against the AI, winning PvE challenges. It has something of like a 98% win rate against the AI, including PvE challenges. So I wanted to share this deck with you, and I also wanted to share some like tweaks you can make to it, and the ability, to kind of recreate my thought process in building this deck. So I call it Angels just because it is primarily Angels, and it's not necessarily the cheapest deck, and let me kind of show it to you. I mean, it does play for Antriel, but I've tweaked it as my collection has expanded. Antriel is an epic, and I'm going to kind of talk about ways to replace her, and I'm actually going to go in and build a brand new deck just so you guys can see. But the deck, you can pause it, and jot down the names and everything. The deck is a bit of a work in progress. It's always changing. I'm always tweaking it here and there. You know what I mean? But I am including the Valor-Sworn Incarnate. He's kind of just I'm kind of testing around with him. You know what I mean? I kind of want to just experiment with how he is. Same with Dwarf Spellbreaker. The Angels are, they are expensive. She's a rare. She's an epic, but they're not essential to the deck. You know what I mean? They make the deck better, but you can win without them. And I'm going to go ahead and build a deck that's pretty much not super expensive. These are I do have a video for budget decks on my channel. You can feel free to check that out. Most of them are still applicable. Some of the cards have been heavily changed, so you might want to keep that in mind. I might be collecting on a list of budget decks now that the Steam release is out, but I'll talk about that some other time. So basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to some of the newer players about the best way to go about building a deck, especially one that you want to use against the AI. Now I want to build a brand new deck because I can hear people in the comments, oh, you have so many rares and I don't have Antriel, and what if I didn't pick Order for my starter deck, or what if I don't have the advanced Order hero? You know what I mean? What if I don't have all this stuff to make the really, really good deck? Well, that's fine. That's why I'm going to go in and build kind of a budget list for you. If you have all the cards for this, you want to slap it together, fine. Go ahead. Enjoy. This is my gift to you, so to speak. But I really wanted to just kind of talk about the best way to go about beating the AI. Because I have played a vast number of games against the AI. I ground... Back before it released into open beta, you had to, if you ground out, I think it was something in the vicinity of like 500 games. You got a whole bunch of extra packs for when the when your account got reset, and everything. So this deck played a lot against the AI, and I ground mostly against AI games just because the AI plays faster, and I don't have to worry about server stability, and quite frankly, I didn't have the time to really play a whole lot of games against people. So I am extremely, extremely experienced again when it comes to playing against the AI. So, you know, take that as you will. So, I mean, and that's still really true nowadays. I don't have a lot of time to devote to Spellweaver, so I play, you know, I play against the AI a lot. So let's say you stuck with, you went with the Order starter deck, right? So your hero is Alexa. So the thing to keep in mind, the important thing to keep in mind about deck building, especially against the AI, is your mana curve. And that is more important in Spellweaver than in a lot of other card games you'll play. Your curve. You want to hit an ideal curve. How do I do that in my other deck? Well, I have 1 drops, I have 2 drops, I have 3 drops, I have 4 drops. I have something I can play every turn. Now, do I always draw them? No. Obviously, bad draws happen, but, you know, you build the deck to try and maximize your curve anyway. So, basically, if you're going with Alexa because of her ability to, you know, spawn 1/1s, you want to go with kind of a soldier theme. So let's go with some soldiers, right? Maybe you got some militias. Maybe you've got the spear, steel host. Actually, let's get rid of the militia. Let's just play the steel host spearman. Now, one of the big things that Order has for tempo is the relic guard of 0/3 speed 3. He can attack, but he's such an amazing blocker for the early game. So he's almost auto include for like anti-aggro, because he blocks elves, which is a big deal. He blocks goblins, which is a big deal, especially against the AI. He blocks zombies against the AI, which is Nephiros seems to be the one that gives people the most the most trouble. So, play some Dwarf Spellbreakers just because the AI love their spells, so I would go with those. Sunblessed Priest, another big one, just because it's a 2-drop. It's 2 mana. You can play it on turn 2. Turn 1, you play your Steel Host Spearman. Turn 2, you play either your Spellbreaker, you play your Sunblessed Priest, so I would just go ahead and include 4 of her. The next big one, the one that basically made me choose Order for this AI Crusher, as I call it, is the Angel Blessed Knight. Now, he is an uncommon, so you might not have a full playset of him. But the fact that he accelerates you into, giving you an Order level on turn 3, so you can then play, you could basically, one of the things that the other deck does so well is I play Angel Blessed Knight on 3 mana, 1 Order, then he gives me 2 Order, next turn I play another Order, or Shrine for Order, and boom, out comes an early Guardian of the Faithful, 3/4 speed 3, which is big. But again, maybe you don't have her, so include as many Angel Blessed Knights as you can. I'm going to say that. Especially, and again, if you're doing this in Dominion, or you're doing this in Rage, you know what I mean? You want to just kind of go along the same lines. You want to build along a curve. You want to sit there and think, turn 1, I'll have 1 mana, 1 level. Turn 2, I might have 2 Order, or 2 level, 1 mana, 2 mana, 1 level. What can I play on each of those turns? Also, it could probably be useful to throw in some guards. Maybe 3 guards, 3 militia, right? So we've got our turn 3 plays, right? Our turn 3 plays are Angel Blessed Knight. Maybe throw in some Knight Recruiters. You know what I mean? 3 mana, why not? So then next, what's technically also a 3-drop, Elite Vanguard. Why is it a 3-drop? Because of the 2 levels. You can play turn 1, 1 level, 1 mana. Turn 2, 2 levels, 1 mana, 2 mana, 1 level. Turn 3, 2 levels, 2 mana, 1 level, 3 mana. The Vanguard qualifies as a 3-drop. So, and because of that, he's also probably the best 3-drop in the game stat-wise, because of his 2 speed and his 3 health and 3 attacks. So he's definitely an auto-include. Again, he's an uncommon, so maybe you don't have a playset of him. Fill in as many as you can. Now, if you're trying to go for kind of a board swarm kind of deal, right? Then you can maximize something like War Fanfares, so I would throw in about 2 of those. This guy's an uncommon, and he's decent now. Used to be crap, now he's decent. Throw in a couple Griffin Riders. Very good against elves. 4 mana is a little too much to pay for him, but you know what? Where you want to follow along your curve, so you've got your 3 drops. It's a 4-drop. or turn 4 drop. I guess you should throw the word turn in front of all the numbers I'm giving you, right? So throw in a couple Griffin Riders. This guy's another uncommon that you might not have a playset of, but let me tell you this much. I had so much trouble with Nephiros because of Tombs of the Damned and not being able to destroy them. Now it's not as big of a deal because you've got the spell hate, but this guy is the perfect thing to kill zombies because he attacks a zombie and then he blocks a zombie. He practically 2-for-1s your zombies on a regular basis. I mean, that's not how 2-for-1 works, but you guys get my point. So I play a couple of him. Now this is another uncommon that you might not have a playset of, but absolutely flood your deck with as many copies of this as you physically can. Because I'll throw in 2 just because he's an uncommon, but he's the one who's going to make your Steel Host Spearman, your Militia, your Spellbreaker, your your Elite Vanguard that much better. And you know what? Because she's a common and because she's great, another card that's really good for the mana cost. Even though she's technically a vanilla, doesn't have any effect. Definitely play all of your Protectors of the Innocent. So, the other thing, we're running a little we're definitely running out of space. But again, I want to just kind of walk you through my deck building process, right? So you definitely want to play 2 or 3 Ray of Righteousness just because it kills big dudes and the AI love big dudes. So at least 3 of those. Oh, and of course, 4 of the probably best removal in the game. Pacify. 2 mana, shuffle an attacking enemy creature into its deck. So, 4 there. No, I said 4, not 1. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. There we go. Okay. So, and if you have it, throw in a Soldier's Memorial or 2. I wouldn't try Angelica unless you're playing a lot of Angels. Right now, this list is only run 4. We might cut it down. But if you have Guardian of the Faithful, if you have some Antriel, throw in a Triangelica or 2. Alternate win conditions are always good, because sometimes you'll stalemate against the AI, and being able to have that button to just press and go, I win, is really nice. So we're going to finish off, we're going to top off our shrine count. Again, this is a 77 card deck now, but this is where we can go, okay, I don't think I need this, I can cut this, I don't have to play as many copies of this. So, for instance, maybe cut down to 2 guards. You know what? Actually, maybe cut War Fanfare in general. Maybe cut down to 2 Knight Recruiter and 2 Griffin Rider. And again, a lot of the cuts I'm making that just seem like, oh, why are you cutting that card? Well, cut gets down to be pretty much just personal preference. A lot of these cards, like, for instance, Dwarf Spellbreaker and Sunblessed Priest, they're the same exact mana cost. Really comes down to either personal preference or what you're having the most trouble against. If you're having a trouble against a PvE boss who uses a lot of spells, double up on the Dwarf Spellbreaker. If you're having trouble kind of stabilizing against the early game, Sunblessed Priest is really good at that. Oh, I put in too many shrines. 20 to 21 shrines is about where you want to be in pretty much every deck. So, and if you don't have 2 copies of Soldier's Memorial, just, fill it up until you've got 20, 21 shrines. Again, personal preference. And again, if you're having trouble against a certain AI deck, right? Maybe it's elves, fit in some more Griffin Riders, that speed is nice. But at least to just kind of trim the numbers, I'm just going to cut down to I'm just going to cut certain cards down so we get down to the magic number. Should never cut that to... Okay. So, basically what I did is I had a certain goal in mind. I wanted to build a deck that has a very strong curve, right? And I made that happen by building along those lines. I cut down cards I didn't think I needed. I cut down on cards I didn't want to see all that often. And I mean, I guess, yeah, this video is probably hard for some new players to follow along with, but as long as you maintain the #1 rule, the curve, then there's really not a whole lot for me to tell you, other than just follow the curve. Now, I'm not going to do it for every, aspect, but some of the more important, or some of the more important curves, so to speak. For nature, if you're building a nature deck, especially with Neva, right? because she's not only she's the basic nature hero, but she's probably one of the best, if not the best, nature hero. So you want to go turn 1 Elf Scout, turn 2 Elf Warrior, turn 3 Ambushing Sharpshooter, or potentially turn 3 Elven Skyrider. Turn 4 you want to go with something like Brothers in Arms, or maybe an Elf Tracker. And so, you know, following along the curve is pretty much what you want to do. You want to think, what can I play on turn 1? What can I play on turn 2? What can I play on turn 3? Oh, my brother's dog just walked in. Thank you for burping in my face. And again, like for Rage is another really good one for curve, because you got turn 1 Goblin Warrior, you've got, turn 2, or turn 1 Goblin Barbarian, turn 2 Boiling Blood, or Goblin Fireworker, or Flameborn Incarnate if you have those rares, or Fia if you have the rares. And then turn 3 Gibbo and Roni, turn 4 Disciple of Zash. You know what I mean? It's all about the curve, and as long as you think about that, it's pretty much hard. It's pretty hard to just kind of screw up too hard against the AI. Another thing to keep in mind, and please ignore the 120-pound Mastiff in the background making noise. Another thing to keep in mind against the AI is the AI has a tendency to think a certain way. It won't make super value trades. It might double trade a creature, 2 creatures into one of your bigger creatures. But one of the big things to keep in mind is the AI will not attack at all unless it can guarantee what it defines as value. If it can attack you, and you can't block it, maybe it's got like a thank you for that. He just knocked over the fan. Did nothing but come in here and make a lot of noise. But anyway, I love my dogs. Basically, what the AI defines as value is being able to attack you with a creature that's too fast for you to block, even if that means that like it opens itself up for getting attacked for game. Or if it means that like if it's got a 3/3 to attack with and you've got just a 1/1, even if that 1/1 is something like Disquisitive Spirit that you want to die anyway, the AI doesn't care. The AI doesn't think about that. It only attacks if it can either A, guarantee damage on you, or B, if it can attack and cause you to, or force you to either take the damage or basically just chump block, you know, block in a way that means that you just have to sacrifice your creatures to prevent damage. It will not, in most cases, attack if it's got like a 4/4 and you've got 2 2/2s. It will not attack because it knows that you can double block, and it knows that it'll lose its creature. Even if like it's sacrificing a crappy vanilla creature to your 2 high value creatures, it doesn't care. It won't attack. There are a lot of, and if after you play against the AI enough, you'll learn kind of the way the AI thinks. You know what I mean? You'll learn the way that it processes information, so to speak. And when once you figure that out, the AI cannot touch you. You will beat the AI 95% of the time. Well, what happens the other 5% of the time? Well, sometimes they get the really ridiculous curve and you get crap. There have been times I've taken full meta decks. I mean, these are decks that have defined the meta, destroyed every other deck, crushed tournaments, and just stood atop everything. And still that goddamn Nephiros AI goes turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, ridiculous curve, forcing you to discard your hand, and then you're dead. You know, sometimes the AI gets the nuts, sometimes you get crap. I've played a game against the AI where I drew 8 shrines for the first, for my opening hand plus my first couple draws, and I didn't see a playable card until turn 5. And I was up against Nephiros, who had one like turn 1 zombie, turn 2 zombie zombie, turn 3 zombie zombie zombie, dead. You know what I mean? Sometimes that just happens. And you know what? You shake it off, you say, God damn it, that AI, and then you go back and do it again. Don't feel bad that you're losing to the AI, because everyone still does. People who play the games, who could play the game professionally with their skill, people who have played card games professionally, still lose the AI. Why? because the AI gets the nuts sometimes. They just do. It pissed me off when I first started playing it, and I felt stupid for losing to the AI. I'm sure everyone feels stupid for losing to the AI at one point, but don't. Everyone loses. Everyone loses to the AI. That just happens. The AI is ridiculous sometimes with its curves. I guarantee, I swear sometimes it's programmed that if you win against the AI a certain number of times, the AI just gets the perfect curve. Like, it's just programmed into the game somewhere. And I blame the developers, the programmers who did that. Anyway, so remember, curve value creatures that have good stats for their mana cost, and remember that the AI thinks a certain way that doesn't really match up to what a lot of humans think. Sometimes you can bait the AI into attack, like if you attack with a 2/3 because you can't outright attack their 3/2, and they know like you were attacking with a 2/2 that with you're attacking with a 2/2 with 2 speed, and they've got a 3/2 with 3 speed that they should just ignore your 2/2 with. Sometimes they'll just block the 3/2 or the 2/2 with the 3/2 and just lose the guy that way. Another thing the AI does is they sacrifice high value creatures. Like, there have been times where I've been playing against the AI and I've used the Soul Prison Corruption Shrine, and they've got like a 1/1, a 1/1, a 2/2, and a 5/5. I hit that button, oops, they sacrificed the 5/5. The AI doesn't think like a human being, so, and a lot of times if you just kind of realize that and you learn how they're programmed, you can just start really wrecking them, and it really helps for new players to really knock out some quests real quick. So, but again, one of the best things to do against the AI is build your collection, more decks, more being able to more easily being able to counter what the AI does. So, and that's gonna kind of do it for me. I believe somewhere on the wiki, which you can find up here in the help links, is the deck lists of what the AI has. So knowing that, you can kind of know what the AI can play. But other than that, I hope the video was helpful. I know I kind of rambled and I went fast in some places. I'm not that great of a teacher. I went to college for 2 years to become a teacher, but I decided that wasn't for me. Probably 90% of that was the fact that New York State in the United States kind of has its head up its ass when it comes to the laws and rules and regulations and the freaking policies they have for teaching. And there's an old adage in the teaching world that says those who do teach, or those who can teach, those who cannot make laws about teaching. But anyway, the other 10% of that is the fact that I suck as a teacher. I cannot convey information all that easily. But anyway, if you stuck with me this far, I must have taught you something, or you just enjoy the sound of my voice, in which case, how you doing? Ignore that was really creepy. But anyway, I'm rambling like I do at the end of all my videos, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, the whole nine. I make this channel for free, so I rely on you guys to kind of spread the channel, word of mouth, so to speak. I do what I can on the forums and on the Facebook page that I have a link to in the description below. But other than that, I do this for free because I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy making videos to help the community and entertain the community. So I hope I entertained you guys. So that's going to do it for me, guys. May the cards rise to meet you and bring good RNG to your enemies' enemies.